Hey,
Oh,
brother.
hey, where's my high-tech share screen? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. What's up, Charles?
Hey, brother. Nothing much. Nothing much.
This was the best investment I ever had, bro. $6 from Longs.
Yep.
Share, guys. All right, let me just put this all on the side here and get my stuff set up. Happy to. Oh, God, Charles.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Honolulu people watching us.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna try to make sense of something tonight. And hopefully, it gets across to some people. Doesn't have to be a lot, but as long as some people get the message, then I'm satisfied. This is not rocket science. It's just making sure that everybody, understands the severity of it all. But maybe I am wrong. Maybe there's no severity. Maybe me, Dr. Fauci, President Biden, maybe we all wrong. Maybe there is no virus. I don't know. I
Dr.
mean, I don't know.
Capono, Dr. O'Carroll,
Dr. Dworkin, maybe
Dr.
we're all wrong.
Dworkin,
Yeah.
Dr. Vuong, Dr. My God, I forgot all the people we had on our show. Dr. Octor,
Dr. Kim,
Dr. Kim, Dr. Osterholm, Dr. Oh my God,
Dr. Kimball, remember?
Kimball. That's the one I was thinking about. You got a damn good memory, bro.
Dr. Kimball. I got a memory
So
like an elephant. I'm built like an elephant with a memory like an elephant.
yeah, it's this light is blinding me tonight. I don't know why. Um, so you know, anyway, welcome everybody. Charlie got the head start off the block, boy. He's on fire. He's on fire.
Hmm.
Jacqueline, heat wave today, 40 degrees. Oh my lord.
I'm
Illinois,
on
right? Illinois, right? I think if I remember correctly, Illinois.
I'm on fire. FIYA. Fire.
Fire. On fire. Guys, we had a great show last night, Dr. Capone. I gotta tell you, man. After the show, I was doing the download, and my wife Patsy tells me everybody likes him. Yeah, I said, oh yeah. You see, because Dr. Capono is he's just real. Number one, he's from Kauai, local brother. Went away, became a doctor, came home, works in a community health center, grounded. Um, of course, good looking. He's good looking. I understand. That's why the Wahinis don't like him, but
Tall.
tall, dark, and
He
handsome.
has, he has less than 2% fat on his entire
Yes,
body. The body index. Me, I
yes.
proud. I proud 100%, 98% fat, 2% lean. So guess what? You get floods, we're gonna float. Just jump on my back. We float.
Ed Horry is in Washington State. It's 41 degrees. Snow, and Jacqueline is saying now the snow is melting. Now they're going to flood. My daughter guys just went through that in Oregon. They had the amazing freezing temperature. They had frozen snow. They had frozen roads. And then it melts and then it turns into slush, very dangerous conditions. So we pray for all of you guys up there on the mainland in the areas that are being hit by blizzards and snow and freezing cold. And um,
Yeah, just wish,
so we
wish
appreciate you guys coming on the show, people. We
yeah,
appreciate
prayers to Tiger Woods. He jam up today. Woo.
Yeah, yeah,
Too
man.
bad.
That was yeah, sad, sad, so sad.
I mean, I believe in miracles, but his insurance is his the core of his body. That's what makes him a powerful swinger. And without the legs working properly, hips working properly because of this accident, It
They
might.
said he had compound fractures on both legs and a shattered ankle.
You know what that means, huh? Probably when shift, down by the floorboard,
Yep.
or thing came up. One of the two.
It
I
probably
saw.
because he hit the median, right? So that underneath
Yeah.
must have crushed his legs and oh man. Oh man. I just anyway,
No,
prayers go
that's
out to
why
Tiger.
for me, I always believe in, to avoid those kind of accidents, you just gotta take care. And that's why I don't know if any of you saw my vehicle when I operate. I drive on the roof, so just in case anything underneath get hit. All paid
Yeah.
for by
So sad. So sad.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we came on a little early as we always do.
Hey
And
brother,
most of
you know what I
y'all,
forgot to do? I
what?
forgot to give you the money for our raffle next week.
Whoa.
I was with
Oh,
you today. I
yeah.
should stupid me.
And I forgot. Yeah, Patsy. Anyway, I didn't know I was going to see you today, so I forgot a couple of things to give you. But we'll hook up, Charlie. I know where to find you, bro. I
Yep,
know where to find you, man.
yep.
I'm not concerned about. You're good for it, bro, and more. So I'm not concerned at all. But you know what? Oh, in fact, Patsy's supposed to bring my cheat sheet. Over 160 tickets last night, thanks to our viewers.
Yeah.
Over 160 from 1 hour of on our show with our viewers, the most generous viewers on the planet. We love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm gonna get the cheat sheet from Patsy, and we'll read. For those of you that weren't here last night, or those of you that didn't participate, please. Anyway, I don't want to misspeak, so I'm gonna wait for Patsy. Hang on, real quick, Charles. I get my intercom. We get this wonderful intercom built up here in the house that when we redid the wiring. Patsy, can you get me the cheat sheet for the tickets?
Yeah, I seen those intercoms in Portugal when I was visiting Portugal.
It's called the Portuguese intercom. Yep. And look. Faster than a speeding bullet. I know. Huh?
I see Patsy. How are you, Patsy?
Oh, there they all saw you. Charlie, I think the viewers all know that if it wasn't for Patsy and Stephanie,
Mm-hmm.
no more show.
Yeah.
No more show. So, of course, thanks to the ladies. But so let me do this real quick, and then I'll share it again before the end of the show.
Mm.
Okay. So Alyssa Mishiro Katmagan, young girl,
Yeah.
battling cancer, currently undergoing treatment at Kapiolani Hospital, and obviously, even if you have medical, 20% copay. If you guys, every one of us has been touched by cancer in our lives, we know the cost. So anyway, her parents are Gemalyn and Joel Miyashiro. Joel is a Kauai Police Department officer. I apologize. I don't know Gemma. I probably do, but it's not clicking right now. But I do. Joel's dad, which is also Joel, was my classmate in high school. Patsy's classmate at Kauai High School. I graduated in the same year, but Kauai High School. But we lost Joel a few years ago to cancer. Joel's dad, and I hate cancer. Um, but anyway, Alyssa is going through treatment. So, and I don't have the ticket, but Kenderson, Caspillo,
Leon.
Leong, and one more.
Yeah.
Anyway, donated cows,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave away 4 quarters last night. And on March 22nd, they're going to give away 8 more quarter cows. The raffle tickets are $10 a piece.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is private message on Messenger or whatever, Patsy Raposo. And she will take your order. We'll get the tickets to you, or we'll fill out the tickets, take a picture, and send it to you, and we'll get the tickets. Yeah, cancer sucks, Nani, definitely. And no one, especially a little girl like Alyssa. So we just want to try to help as much as we can. You guys did a hell of a job. Randall Boyer, thank you, Patsy. Randall Boyer. Was it Russell? What Leon? Russell Leon was it? And Kenderson Castillo. Anyway, our viewers, guys, I tell you, I'm so proud of you all. I love you guys all, and over 160 tickets last night, just in our time. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and I'll bring that up again before the show is over, just so we can remind people. You can just donate money, absolutely. Again, just message Patsy. She's taking all of the donations, giving you guys all the information. So you can just message Patsy, and she'll take care of all of that. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, Charles.
Yes, sir.
The big news today. You hinted on it a
Yes,
little
sir.
while ago.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you haven't mentioned how for payment. I don't have Venmo and asked twice last night. Sorry, I guess I didn't see your comment last night, Laurel. Just message Patsy. She will explain to you the options. Okay. Thank you. Mayor Blangiardi, City and County Honolulu, he said in his campaign that he was going to take an aggressive approach to opening up Honolulu, sorry, Oahu. And today he made good on his promise, and he got the governor to approve his changing of tiers, which is going to happen on Thursday. So Charles, I saw you had that nice colorful chart.
Yes.
Maybe you wanna go over the details. I only know what I saw on TV, but looks like you got the official document.
Well, this document is off. If it's off the county website about this strategy plan that was that's been in effect, that's been used. Okay. There are some modifications to it because let me go down the tier 3 where it will take effect on Thursday, this week, Thursday. Okay, tier 3. Essential businesses will be allowed social gatherings of 10 now. Okay, 10 or more. I mean, 10 people. I'm sorry, not 10 or more, but 10. Parks and beaches, trails, camping, 10. Outdoor sports, no permit, 10. Outdoor organized team sports, they I believe they asked for an approval on that for outdoor sports in the parks, and I believe they were granted that. Because right now it says closed on this. Pools is allowed, shooting, archery ranges allowed, golf courses allowed, certain real estates, 10 people, yes, allowed. Car dealerships, they're all allowed. At funerals, 25 people. Restaurants, 10 people at the table, and they're operating at, I guess, they're operating at 50% capacity now. They're going to be allowed to go more than that. As long as they meet,
75%.
yeah, as long as they meet the distancing requirements. Okay. Bars and nightclubs, I believe they're going to be allowed to be open to 10 o'clock or something like that.
I know he was asking for some additional measures. I know what he wants to do is open the bars.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as restaurants, he wants to expand the serving of alcohol from 10 to midnight.
Okay. So that's why it's, I just printed this out because I wanted to take a look at it because the bottom line is they're at tier 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to discuss, and I'll give you my 2 cents when I allow. I shouldn't say I allow. It's his show too. He'll make a comment, and I'll let him go first, and then I will come in.
No, I think we back. I don't even remember. It was a long time ago, months and months and months ago, when everything was going crazy and they were talking about everywhere on lockdown. We had the quarantine, all the islands had quarantine, full on 14-day quarantine. And then Mayor Caldwell at the time came out and he made a statement and he said that we got to try to open up tourism. And he was suggesting, you guys all remember this, I know our viewers that's been with us, he suggested that we use Kauai as the test case, as a testing ground to open up. the quarantine and see what happens. Our mayor, of course, quickly uh, went and opposed that. But it's so weird because now, probably 6 or 8 months later, Honolulu is volunteering to be the testing ground. They wanna go ahead and open up now. As you stated earlier, Charles, we both mentioned, read off the names of the doctors and the experts of the concern. They chose to move forward. So there's good. It's a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is now City and County of Honolulu can be the test case for the rest of the state, and they can go and open up. We know that funerals are one of the largest uh, or most dangerous gatherings for COVID. We know that bars and restaurants are very vulnerable. So, in a sense, if you look at this positively, yeah, City and County of Honolulu will be the test case, the guinea pigs for the rest of the state as far as opening up. Now, don't get me wrong, Charlie, and our viewers. I want to see our state open up just as bad as all of you. I am sick and tired of wearing my mask everywhere I go. I am sick and tired. Right before we came online, my daughter was talking to my wife. I'm sick that I cannot go see my kids. I want this to end just like everyone else. So the good news is perfect. If that works and they're in the safe travels and they're allowing all these people to come in with a single test, they're allowing everybody to pretty much roam freely, very limited restrictions. We'll see. And I hope that it works. The bad side is pretty risky. And I've always said, is the risk worth the reward? Is the risk worth the reward? So, you know, this is something we got to wait and see what happens. Now, I tell you guys, I'm not ashamed to say I'm a Christian. I'm a God-fearing man. Every night I put my head on a pillow, I say a prayer for all of you, for all the people that have passed, for everybody. And I will tonight ask God to bless the city and county of Honolulu and keep them safe. I want this to work. I want this to work, but they are going against the odds. If you listen to the experts, and maybe Hawaii has some kind of magic that will not that will have us be different. We'll see, Charlie. We'll see.
Well, I just
I'm
got
gonna
this.
sit back. I'm gonna sit back and listen to Charlie's.
Well, first of all, I've made it a point not to say any names, but now I'm really upset. If you look on your screen there, you'll see a name that talked about a town hall meeting with the lieutenant governor. Okay. And a question was submitted to the lieutenant governor. The recent County of Kauai data shows that 51% of travelers who tested positive for COVID did so after they arrived on island and they had no quarantine, since their pre-travel test was reported as negative but later tested positive on the island. They reported 76% of positive cases are travel related. We don't know Maui specific numbers since officials don't report them, but we can assume that if this is the case, probably for every island. What's your thoughts on that? His response: it's not correct at all. Those numbers aren't valid. There's been no spread on Kauai. Okay.
Charlie.
You know why I'm getting upset?
Well,
This is why I'm getting upset. We've mentioned this several times before. Never once has he ordered Libby Char to silence Dr. Berman, not once, because he knows the numbers that Kauai released are factual. Not once. We've been on this trail for how long? Not once has he ever come out. He's always said it from afar. He's always said it from on other people's show. He said it on KITV News in the morning. He's made claims from a distant. If that's the case, if we're putting out, if the information is wrong, you have the power. You call Libby Char, and you instruct Libby Char to put a gag order on Dr. Berman. Has that happened? Not, zero. And yet, we're the only ones releasing actual numbers. We're not playing the game like the other counties. We never have. And this writer says that on Maui, they've never been able to get the specific numbers. That's right. Only Kauai has put up the numbers. So how can he say that we were wrong? Well, what is it, because we was using we weren't using a Toshiba calculator instead of an HP? Is that the reason why we're wrong? Come on. What's your take on it, Mel?
What do you think my take is? You know, I didn't know. I had to scroll back up to go find, or scroll down, whatever, to go find. I read it. I read it while you was reading it. I read it before the show, ladies and gentlemen. Before we went live, before I hit the button, I told Charlie, and of course I was joking, and I said, Charlie, tonight I'm dropping F-bombs. I'm gonna go off. I'm going so hard that Facebook going to close my account because I'm pissed. I was just joking. I had no idea about the idiot comment that was just read. And Charlie said, well, I'm just gonna sit back and watch. I was joking because today was a rough day. It was a long day. It was a busy day. But I was actually feeling good because I meant what I said about Blangiardi. I meant what I said, that I hope he succeeds. I hope we can open up. I was actually having a wonderful night.
Until I read that.
Until
I read that.
And I hope you're watching, Green. I hope your staff is watching, Green. You just called us liars.
Yep.
Now, you think Charlie and Mel sat down over coffee and said, Charlie, what number you like us use? Green, you think we did that, you jackass? You think that we pulled that out of our ocoles? Green, I'm talking to you. I saw when I posted that in our show, it made it to a Maui Facebook page, and I saw the questioning of the validity of the numbers. My response was very simple. That came straight from the mayor's office, from Kauai Emergency Management Agency, from the Department of Health. So Green, don't you dare question my credibility, my integrity, when I am putting numbers that are real, that are factual, that are true. And you come around and you go on your morning news and you campaigning for governor, and you're going to paint this picture that everything is all freaking good. You go out there and you tell everybody, don't worry, take the shot. You got total immunity. That hasn't been proven, but you go ahead and you say it. You called us fear mongers. You called us stupid in the past. Because why? Because our island, our county, our mayor, our Department of Health officer, Dr. Berman, decided long ago that we're going to be truthful with our people, that we're going to tell the Kauai people what's really happening on our island, so we can at least understand the gravity of this virus. And you're going to sit up there and tell your Maui audience that the numbers are false? Listen, Green, our viewers are intelligent people. You see, they know, I know, Charlie, you're having a blast. Green, they know you full of it, man. They know you full of it. They don't believe a word that comes out of your lips. And the only reason the news keeps you going every single day because you're the only politician that's willing to go talk to them at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I would be too if I was running for governor. Separate the goddamn politics, Doc, and go ahead and do the right thing. Very simple, Green, as Charlie just said. Call me up. Call me up. Call Behrman. Call Mayor. Tell them the numbers are false and prove it. Prove it. You see, you got to remember one thing, Green. Kauai counts every active case, not just the cases that are tested here in Hawaii, on Kauai. No, you test on the mainland, your ass comes to Kauai positive, we count you. Because you know why? The people need to know how many active cases are running around. They don't sugarcoat, they don't hide nothing like the state does, and like Honolulu does, and Maui does, and Big Island does. No. Our county, for months now, has given us the right factual information based on statistics, based on the actual numbers of active COVID cases on our island. Now, when you look at the numbers, you look at the success, yes, yeah, we're suffering a consequence, an economic consequence, and we knew that was going to happen. But look at the numbers of people in the hospital. Look at the numbers of people that have died. We've lost one Kauai resident on Kauai. We've lost a Kauai resident that died on the mainland. So could it be that you guys are so pissed off because your systems don't work and Kauai is working? So you got to discredit Kauai. You guys going to force Kauai. I'm sorry, Charlie. Now you started me on. I'm going to stop in about a minute. Because you see, the politics is what pisses me off. See, I was part of that game for 12 years of my life that I will never get back. And I've seen the bullshit that goes on day in and day out. But we've never had a pandemic like this, Doc. I even call you Doc Green. And you go out there and you tell people that we're lying, that our numbers are not accurate. You go out and you try to convince people that you're going to have total immunity after your second shot plus 14 days. Brother, obviously you pissed me off. We were very good friends, Doc. Very good friends. But I tell you one thing that I cannot tolerate, and I spoke of this the other night. I can forgive, but I'll never forget. You question my integrity, pal. You question my integrity. You question our county. Unforgivable, pal. Unforgivable.
Okay.
And you know, those of you that support this man and you love him and he's your cousin or your uncle or whatever, I'm sorry. He has misled this state for months now. And that's really got to stop. Really got to stop. I'm done, Charles.
Well, first, I like to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And judges, score for Mel Raposo. He gets a 10. Mel, the judges give you a 10.
You know.
No, let me say this. And some people just joined. Dana Moore, she goes, I'm so tired watching him that she turned him off and switched over to us. I'm sorry, Dana. But one of your viewers made a comment of what the Lieutenant Governor said about us and our figures. And you know, it's just that we're just setting the record straight because we have sacrificed so much. We have given so much. Some of us sacrificed personally, like myself. You know, I laugh. I mean, because that's what my brother would want me to do, is just laugh, because, you know, that's what makes the world go around. If we're all smart and no stupids, the world only turn static and then come back. The thing never completes on full circle. So you got to get smart with stupid. And so, you know, he just balances off for us so we can go around in one circle. So the problem is this, okay? We've had this problem from day one with number sourcing, right? Reporting of numbers. And that's what I wanted to get to in the second part of this. Because today, the announcement was made by Mayor Blangiardi, and I'm very, very, I hope for the best that Honolulu can hold. Here's the problem that I see. When you don't get correct numbers, and I'm just speaking hypothetically because nobody has answered how did the numbers just drastically drop. We were in the hundreds and now we're in the low teens. And yet we've had numerous times where they printed reports that the numerical collection of numbers, right, of cases, they were experiencing problems with the counting system. That's why I made fun about how you tabulate. But you see, they admitted that to us, not us. And they never told us if things came back online. They said in a couple of days, you'll see numbers ramping up. Well, it didn't. So that's why everybody's under this assumption is these numbers low because, and so coincidentally, if you look at tier 3, okay, here's the Honolulu. You look at tier 3, okay. To be in tier 3, you need a case count 7-day average of 20 to 49. Under the counting system that is now in place, Honolulu made that tier 3. But again, I said, we don't know how valid the numbers are, but they made that qualifier right there. Secondly, the additional qualifier is they have to have a test positivity rate of 1 to 2.49, which they have based on the case counts that they have now, which we don't know if it's accurate or not. So just on the mere fact that those numbers were posted for a 7-day average, it allows Honolulu to ask to go in tier 3. Okay, this is what the danger that I'm worried about now. And this is for everyone out there. And tell me if I'm wrong or not. But it appears that we're not doing enough testing. So if we have an outbreak, people in Manoa, people in downtown Honolulu, people in Hawaii Kai, going around the bend to Makapu'u, to Waimanalo, all the way up to the North Shore, Haleiwa, coming back to Wahiawa, up to the Waianae Coast. Nobody will know for sure if we're having cases or not. And you may be in the middle of a very large case, but you will never know because 1, they will never tell you, and 2, they will not release the accurate numbers. That's what makes this a very, very bad plan, what's happening now, when you don't have accurate numbers. Okay. So when that will go on for a while, okay. If many of you, if you saw the news last night with Officer Morales from HPD, okay, he had the same process as Alofa Nua, the construction worker. That was one of the first to do the ECMO process. Okay, I can tell you right now, we do not have that device on Kauai. I don't believe we have that device on Kauai. We stabilize and we ship off to Honolulu. I believe Honolulu has a device. You read my post, it talks about if your lungs shuts down, then you ask yourself, how does the rest of your body get oxygen? It's through this life support machine. It externally oxygenates your body from the outside and pushes it back in until your lungs can restart. Okay. Those are the realities that we are faced with. And those kind of go hand in hand with these number games. And, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, but if you don't have numbers correct from the beginning, you'll never know where along that particular assembly line that you're following, what is right and what is wrong. And yet, if I would think, if we had a plague wouldn't we want everybody to know if there was a big breakout in YNI, wouldn't you want to try to avoid the area so you don't get caught up in it and become a statistic? Based on it right now, you won't know. That's the danger. That's why I'm saying, oh boy, why can't they just get the correct numbers and put out the numbers? You don't have to share names. All you say is, okay, we had more than X number of cases testing positive, and they're coming from the Waianae area, or specifically the Nanakuli area, or specifically the Waimanalo area, okay, or downtown ward. That means that if you're a safety-minded person like us, I would think you would try to avoid those areas because we don't know where it's going right now. But as long as you share the low numbers, and if you're saying on a stack of Bible, I said that's a God's honest truth, and somebody is validating those low numbers, then okay, fine. But we haven't heard anything yet. All we know is when those low numbers were questioned this past week, we were continually told there's a problem with the counting and that you'll see numbers spiking to catch up because the way it's counted, there's something wrong with the machine. That's what was told to us. So I'm just going by what they're telling us.
500,000 people died from COVID in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff is real, guys. I'll take you back down memory lane. Remember, not long ago, Charlie,
Yeah.
Lieutenant Governor Green, Dr. Miskovich, on a rampage about testing and contact tracing. That's what the CT is.
Mm-hmm.
You up testing, you up contact tracing, you identify the numbers of cases. If there's a direct correlation, you drop the number of testing, you drop your contact tracing efforts, you can drop the number of cases. You see, it would be one thing if you have your system is so crappy that your glitches come up 1 year after. That's kind of suspect, but that'd be one thing. But when the data is manipulated to achieve a desired outcome, that's what's called corruption. And who are we, right? I mean, what access do we have? Charlie, you and I together, investigators, amazing. I think we're very good at what we do. But if we don't have the data, if everything is all locked up, sealed, and you cannot get the raw data to do an assessment, we'll never know. We'll never know. Unless the feds get involved and they do something. I mean, really, I tried to get the names of the people that were on the committee that was advising the governor about the travel policy. And even that they refused to give me, which is against the law, but they did. We don't have the ability or the resources to dig into this to really find out what's going on. So what? We are now at the whim of the state flawed reporting system. It's horrible, and it's frustrating because they wanted to open up.
You know who I feel sorry for right now? I feel sorry for the frontline workers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll tell you the reason why. And I say this with all sincerity and honesty, and I hope I'm wrong. But should this go sideways on us, all you frontline workers, if you're watching us tonight, in all the hospitals, a demand will be put on you so high, they will expect you to perform miracles. They will expect you to walk on water. Because why? You're going to have to try to save lives in a twinkling of an eye. Because guess what? You didn't ask for it. It was shoved down your throats because of what's being done right now. And that's the sad part of it. And I hope I'm wrong. But like I said, just imagine, pre-COVID, the numbers that are reflected now is pretty much the same numbers way, way back. So if it's very easy to tweak the numbers to keep it low like what is being done now, okay, without having to test, because that's part of the reason. We're not doing enough tests to go find out where these numbers are. Someone had to have given the orders. You know what? No do that much tests anymore. If they're sick, they're gonna show up at the hospital. So what's happening now is this. If before, when the numbers started to take a slight increase, a lot of changes were made by the state, right? Because the elected officials who can make those calls are basing that on the numbers that's given to them, right? So it's basically economically, we took a hit based on those numbers. Now, when you really need it, and because we're economically taking a hit, we're reversing the throttle and we're putting it in reverse and say, wait, just report this. Guess what? Nobody's coming forward and saying, okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we got the numbers. Because a challenge was put out by Mel Raposo and Charlie Iona on their show. This is the numbers. We will open up the numbers to you. And they show us that yes, daily for the last 1 month, we've been testing 5,000 tests. And this is the only numbers we've been getting. Well, I can honestly say, remember I said the other night, if that's the case and if that's the truth, I'd be the first one to apologize. But for some reason, someone is keeping all of that from us. Now, is this a conspiracy theory? I don't want you to even go on that tangent. All I'm saying is numbers now are dictating how we operate. And the scary part is some of you, or you may know someone out there, if they should get sick, may not be able to outrun this virus. Because guess what? Even with the numbers that are in play now, they're not even talking to us about the variants. And we know the variants are here. Because remember when the first community spread happened? Oh, they tell you like this, community spread, oh, community spread, oh, community spread. We got 3 variants in the state. You telling me that we went capture the 3 and we stranglehold those variants and there's no other variants? If that was that easy, how come we didn't do it before when we didn't have variants?
Let me respond to Dr. Miskovich. He said, guys, you're mentioning me and my team. We are performing the best program in the state on the Big Island, and it is used in as example for the US. Unlike the Lieutenant Governor, I didn't question your integrity, Doc. All I said was that in months ago, rewind, yourself and Lieutenant Governor Green were the spokespeople or the spokespersons for the people of Hawaii and the push to get testing and contact tracing. I mean, to the point where we lost the Department of Health director, they removed the epidemiologist, put her on leave. There was no mention about your integrity or your program on the Big Island. No mention of that. I mean, we've said time and time again that you are the leading testing expert. So I hope you didn't take it the wrong way. Your name was on there only because you two were the pioneers in the beginning to demand contact tracing and testing. I don't see testing. I'm told that, and I'm not talking about the Big Island either, Doc. I'm talking about statewide contact tracing. We were told by this Department of Health that they were reducing the staff of the contact tracers. So don't take it in the wrong way, Doc. There was no mention of integrity or challenging your integrity, unlike what the Lieutenant Governor did to Charlie and myself, and to Dr. Behrman, and to Mayor Kawakami, and to the entire team on Kauai at KEMA, Kauai Emergency Management Agency. I don't play that game. I call a spade a spade. You question my integrity, guess what, guys? I ain't sitting back and, no, I'm going to call you on it, and you have the right to answer. And I'm not talking to you, Scott. I'm talking to Josh. That's one thing I tell you. I take pride in what I do and in my work ethic and my research and my investigative ability. I take pride in that. And when somebody comes and says that numbers are wrong, oh man, that pisses me off, obviously. So please don't take it in the wrong way, Doc. It was not intended, other than you guys were the pioneers. And
Well,
we
you know,
appreciate
again,
all that you have done.
everything was directed to the LG because that statement was made. Because it is hurtful. It's bad
No,
enough.
no, no,
We're getting it's no, it's bad enough we're getting blamed for you guys because the traveler, not from Hawaii, coming to Hawaii, who tests positive, they have no, because I guess they're spending money here. They don't want us to pick on them. Okay, but it gets kind of unnerving when I remember in high school. Sometimes, we get together, we hang out by one of the class and we're not supposed to be there. We get disciplined. Okay. When we no longer do it and another group goes and do it, and you come back and you blame us for standing over there when we weren't there, we get kind of resentful to that. And that's what's happening right now, is that local people are getting resentful for always getting blamed because, hey, before this whole damn thing started, yes, it was travelers. And we've always said, not only tourists, it's travelers. But what did we hop on? We hopped on the fact that they needed contact tracing and we needed to stranglehold this virus as soon as possible. That's when we had the problems with Dr. Park and Dr. Anderson, because they had a different philosophy. They had the philosophy of like a match, right? Light it, hold it long enough, it'll burn out before it burns your finger. Well, you know how you adjust that rule? Instead of holding the match way up at a part that burns, you hold them way at the tip on the other end where you know that the fire not going to reach all the way to the bottom. You get better results that way. So using that match concept, that's what's happening right now. If we don't hold true to the facts of testing and what's really out there, guess what? The numbers will be low enough that you probably get to tier 4. No questions asked. Because why? Unless a large group of people start showing up in a hospital sick as hell, nobody gonna know. Because remember now, we can have people that are sick. We can have people that's fighting it off that don't make it to the hospital. But the thing is, what happens? We want to know where it is because why? What route? I shouldn't say routine, but what will we start seeing again? We'll start seeing this vicious cycle start all over again, right? We'll start this vicious cycle. It's going to start working its way. It's going to come back. And guess what? People are going to start getting sick. And remember what I told you, Mel? You know what I like about wearing masks? And I'm going to continue wearing masks? Because I was one that got sick, even with a vaccine shot every year on the flu season. I got sick every single damn year. This year, 2020 into 21, was the first time I never get any illness. And I'm happy. I mean, what a feeling. So if the mask is the one that did it, damn, washing my hands, damn, I'm going to do it. And guess what? I miss all my friends. But you know why I love avoiding large crowds? I tell you why. I save more money and I get to spend on things that I want to spend on, like feeding people, like participating in raffle tickets to help someone who has cancer. I like doing that. I don't like hanging out, going to the bars, acting a little crazy. Next thing you know, you're spending $300 buying everybody drinks because you don't even keep track of your own money because half the time you're drunk. I used to be like that. Mrs. Iona will tell you that. I am no longer that way. So I enjoy avoiding a large crowd. Hey, give me a worthwhile cause to support. I'm right there. Because I poke, but the Hawaiian comes out when it means helping somebody in need.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. I guess I apologize for the rant. I apologize for getting loud. I
Oh,
apologize for
I
getting
should
angry.
apologize too, Mel. I should apologize too for lighting that candle under your holy.
No, Charlie, you know, you take so long to build a reputation. You work so hard. People try shut you down. People try step on you, especially when you're down. I've been through all of that, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let this guy come up and just say that we're liars. And that's how I took it. That's how I took it. And Doc Miskovich, if you agree with that guy and you post on his comment right now, that our numbers are wrong, then we'll have the same problem. We're gonna have the same problem because I didn't make those numbers up. I didn't make those numbers up. Like I said, people, and I hope you guys since believe me, but I genuinely and I sincerely mean when I say nothing is personal. This is professional, guys. Now it gets personal when you start calling people out and telling them that they're liars. That's not in the middle of well, Charlie and I are trying to do this for the good of the community. We're trying to do this to get accurate information out. And then when you get the second highest guy in the state step on you and say that their numbers are not true to a viewership of heaven knows how many. I don't know how many people watching his town hall. I don't know. But those people now look at that our chart and said, those two guys are full of it. They're making the stuff up. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know, I'm going to put that chart back up because I think there's a lot of you on here that may not have seen that chart. And I'm going to put it up again. And I'm going to put it up again. I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. I'm going to post it until Lieutenant Governor grows enough balls to stand up and tell the world in public that those numbers are not accurate.
You know what people need to realize too, and they do, Mel. You know, I don't want our viewers to think that we're yelling at them. No. We're just passionate. But you remember every time we've had a traveler that had a pretest negative, and they came by and we tested them several days after, remember? And they tested positive. What did we do? We actually kept the count and we let everybody know, right? And we did that for the entire time. Isn't that correct? No. We've done it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are one of those that it was kind of like a game show like Jeopardy. We're looking for the headings. What headings are going to come out? What can we bet on, to see what's going to be in play today. And what gave me a lot of pride, because I am a transplant to Kauai, even though I've been here since 2005, but I am a transplant. I am originally from the island of Oahu, then made my way to Maui. But what gave me so much pride is that, and even at first, I was kind of questioning, but Dr. Berman and her team kept a really good track on these people. And when they surfaced with a positive, bingo, they went after them. And they did everything possible to isolate it. That's the only way we knew what was happening, because they posted those numbers and the mayor made it a known fact. He didn't hide from it.
You remember Dr. Berman in the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
She was being very cautious. She was being very, she was holding back because I think of her position in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And when Kauai started to see the changes, when Dr. Berman realized, and this is why I respect that woman tremendously.
Yes.
When she saw what was happening on Kauai, and I'll put the chart up in a little bit so you can see why. When she wrote that op-ed, she came on our show, remember, Charlie?
Yep.
The first time she came on our show, I was like, lady, what are you thinking? But she was being very cautious. She was being very politically correct. When she saw what was happening, she came on our show. She told us exactly what we had been saying, was that we need to stop the virus from coming in. We need to stop the virus from coming in. The very next day, op-ed in the Honolulu newspaper, on the Kauai newspaper, telling everybody that, basically telling her opinion that we needed to opt out of the safe travel program, that in fact it wasn't going to work. And ever since then, Dr. Berman has been the spokesperson for the Department of Health on the Honolulu news channels. I respect that woman. I respect Libby Char, but I would have more respect if she was to stand up and tell the Lieutenant Governor to stop making those unrealistic claims and the misleading information. That's really creating some problems for a lot of people. But anyway, I'm gonna hold on here because Dr. Miskovich is asking for our numbers as well. So here it is, guys. And again, you want to question the numbers? Go ahead. This is straight. And remember now, this was almost a week ago. I know that the last four, we can add four to this. The last four cases were identified while they were in the resort bubbles here on Kauai. So since October 15 is when, in fact, two dates you got to remember. October 15th was when safe travels went into effect. That is when Kauai's numbers started to go crazy. Everybody was freaking out. Everybody was freaking out. And our mayor and our health director, Dr. Behrman, decided to let everybody know on a daily basis what was happening on Kauai. Because of the rapid increases in cases, November 27 is when Kauai opted out of the safe travels, requiring people quarantine. That is two important dates, October 15 and November 27. From October 15, 150 cases on Kauai, 103, 69% were travel related, meaning direct relation to travel. Someone traveled and got the virus or brought the virus in from while they traveled. 7% or 11 of them were travel associated. One of them was our good friend that passed away, transporting airline crews to the hotels after they landed quarantine free. And 36 of them 24% were community transmissions. And again, community transmission because we couldn't figure out the source. The bulk of these cases were within the weeks during which we participated in safe travels. Now, this is where it gets, and this, Dr. Miskovich, this is where you can understand why we're so passionate on Kauai. Of the 103 cases, and this is the information that Green is saying is false. I just ask you real quick, who you believe? You believe Dr. Behrman or you believe Josh Green, who sits as a lieutenant governor? 53 of the 103, 51% people, more than half, had negative pre-travel tests, got on the plane, and when they were on Kauai, they tested positive. 51%. 31 of them, or 30%, had positive pre-travel tests, but they didn't receive the results until after they arrived on the island. Remember, people, we didn't have a quarantine. Safe travels. They took a test on the mainland. They came in. If they didn't have their test result, they had to quarantine until the result came in. 30% of them had a positive test after they arrived on Kauai. 81% of the 103 travel cases had issues that safe travel didn't work. I hope you guys can understand my passion and my frustration. And I hope you can understand or appreciate why I'm so pissed off, because somebody questioned these numbers. These are not made up, people. These are not made up. So this is the chart that he's talking about. This ended up on a Maui's COVID Facebook group. People questioned where it came from. They wanted to see the source. The source is right from the mayor's office. I have absolutely no reason to believe, because if you remember back then, remember we got the daily count, 7, 8, 9, 13, every day. Every single day. And people were saying, we got to do something, we got to do something. And we did. We opted out. And then the numbers dropped to 0, 1, 1, 2, 0, 0. Does the safe travels work? No. Now, I don't know how the hell Honolulu, Maui, and the Big Island are testing. I know Dr. Miskovich does the post-arrival test. I went on the website the other night. I saw 25% of the arrivals are randomly selected and tested. What about the other 75%? So anyway, I just wanted to share this screen for those that may not have seen it. But this is the true data. This is raw data, guys. No pretty slide, no charts, no graphs, no bells and whistles, just factual data. And that is why I'm pissed. because we saw it happen on Kauai because we were informed. We were informed. And that's why sometimes, too much information is can freak people out. So anyway, that's kind of
Well,
where it's at, people.
let's I'll be the first one to say, we've got a long life to live. Let's not get I'm not going to say it's water under the bridge, because that type of um basing basically putting us on the defense has been happening too long. And I'm just going to say it's out there. you know if there's data to be questioned, I said, hey, we showing you our sauce, show us yours. That'll be the easiest thing to do. But guess what? We don't get access to their sauce. Okay. It's like we gotta go get one Supreme Court decision to give us the right to go look at your sauce, because everybody hiding behind that protection of information that we cannot look at it. Well, what is it gonna do? Is it if you're afraid that if we find out the truth, it's gonna cause this state to shut down? No, it's not. We're just two guys who are passionate about keeping our community safe. That's all we are. We're not bastards. We're not doodoo heads. We're just two guys who took on a cause. And it's very, very rare for me to jump in on any type of cause where I'm gonna be exposed all the time. But this was a cause because my brother had died, and that's why I felt this was the best way I can keep his name, especially, well, in my memory, in my head, alive. I don't want it to go away, because there's so many things that's being revealed. I wish it was available back then, but it wasn't. It's available now, and I'm glad that police officer from Honolulu, after 100 days, I'm glad he got to go home, see his daughter and his twin 3-year-old daughters. I mean, I cried when I saw that on the news because I know that feeling. But you could see how weak that gentleman was. You can see how atrophy set in. You can see how much weight he lost. He's out of the hospital. His recovery will be a very, very, very long one. And he may still have other issues. But I hope and pray that if we as humanitarians can outrun this thing, that we will be around to maybe kokua and lend some support, because right now only has his wife, who's a caregiver for him and for the three children. I don't know what sources of income they have, but I hope and pray that we can do something ourselves if asked. And that's why right now, everything that we're going through is because Mel and I took up a cause. Not saying that we are crime fighters, even though that was our past profession. We are humanitarians first when it comes to helping our community. Why? Because we love Kauai. And we know that just a minor slip up can turn into a major disaster. And that's all we're trying to prevent. That's all we're trying to prevent. And while doing that, it trickles to the other islands, because we don't want any other islands to feel. Look at Maui right now. Okay, their numbers are on the verge of surpassing Oahu's numbers. That was never in the cards before, but they're living the real deal right now. So I hope and pray, they can control it. And you know what's even more funny? I just thought about it. To make these numbers to get into tier 3, I read to you what is needed as far as what you had to hold for on 7-day average. You remember Caldwell when the prisons were getting all those high numbers? Oh, please keep those numbers out from my daily counts, because if you keep it in, we won't be able to go to the next tier. Oh, please. Remember he crying the blues? Okay. I never hear Maui cry the blues. I know they including Maui's numbers from the MCCC because hey, they're telling it like it is. Maybe there's still some stuff that's not revealed. So that's why Mayor Blangiardi should be grateful that they're not counting the those who are positive at OCCC as well as Halava. Because if they were, I bet you what, you wouldn't make it to tier 3 right now. No way in hell.
Our time is almost up. I just want to answer a couple of questions. Doc Miskovich, that information I got from the Big Island website, the 25% random sampling was off the Big Island COVID section of the website. So I'm not sure. I appreciate you clarifying that. It's 100% of all arrivals get tested, I believe at Kona Airport. So thanks for clarifying that. Another thing about how much, how many tests are we checking for the variant? And again, I could be wrong. Last I heard was 75 a week, 300 a month. Strategically selected from around the state. I'm hoping that they're covering Maui. I hope they're doing a little more checks on Maui. This is the thing. Maui is no different than Kauai, is no different than the Big Island, is no different than Oahu as far as demographics, as far as landmass. I mean, of course, some islands are bigger, but my point is this: we're all humans. We're all vulnerable to the virus. So what's happening is Maui could very well happen to Honolulu. It's no different than a hurricane. Hawaii gets a hurricane, impact, small island. We don't have the shipping ports. We don't have the manufacturing. We don't have the big things. If that same hurricane hit Honolulu, big difference. Big difference. Totally impact the whole state. It's like COVID. COVID, you get a bunch of cases on Oahu. You guys got the hospitals to cover it. You guys all good. Kauai, we don't. We're different. And that is what upsets me when people try to put us all together and say, well, let's all open up because we can. Well, no, because every island is different. Every island is different in a sense of capacity resources, but we're not different in the vulnerability to this virus. We're all made up of the same thing. So we got to be very careful. What's happening in Maui should be a warning for other places to say, hey, what's happening in Maui could very well happen on our island if we're not careful. So again, I'm going to end with how I started. I appreciate what Honolulu is trying to do. I appreciate what Mayor Blangiardi, and I will pray for him and his island tonight, because I hope it works. Because that will be, they are the test case, they are the guinea pigs, if you will, and if they can make it work, then wonderful. I just want to make sure people understand that there's consequences with all decisions, and that in fact, if that variant, which is what every single expert is concerned about right now, if that variant should make its way to our islands and start to replicate like it's doing in Florida and in other states and in other parts of the world, we're in for trouble. Again, as I said earlier in the show, is the risk worth the reward? I just hope that this all works out. I pray for Honolulu, I pray for Maui and the Big Island and Molokai and Lanai and of course Kauai. I want this state to open. I want to go back to normal. We just need to do it safely. Charles?
Well, first I'd like to say, our intention was never to get anybody riled up, but sometimes, we, like I said, we local guys, and if we try to make a point, sometimes we raise our voices as if nobody listening. But I know you folks are listening, so I just want to say thank you. Emotionally, it takes a lot for me to hold back my tears, only because, we talk about Maui, and I don't talk about it too much. I have 2 sons, and I have a part of my grandchildren on Maui. So I worry. I worry because Papa doesn't get over to see them. Um, as you know, my oldest son had a massive stroke, but he's doing okay. But he needs a little assistance. Their mother son, he and his lovely lady, they take care of the babies. But they live on the Lahaina side, and if anything was to happen, they got to make the trek all the way to Wailuku to the Mar Memorial. And so I get worried. I get worried. Then I have my children on Oahu and the rest of my grandchildren there. And I get worried all the time. You know, it's very easy for me and Stephanie to go hide in a corner and not worry about anything. But we're just not like that. You know, half of the people on tonight's feed, truthfully, I know you by name. I haven't met you personally, but I still worry about you folks because you know the pain I went through. It's real. It's real when you know if somebody's gonna die. I think many of us will want to know. Give me the exact date so we can prepare. I wasn't prepared at all when my brother died. I was prepared that he was going to wake up and tell me, brother, I'm doing okay. I'll never hear his voice again. And I hope and pray you folks understand why we do what we do. So none of you will go through that. Okay. And this thing this is on long battle. And like Angela Keen has always said, it's a COVID, you know, for long haulers for COVID. Well, psychologically, it's a long haul for us because we've been doing this for almost a year. And there's no quitting right now. We're almost there, hopefully. But it just angers me when somebody throws us under the bus. That's all. That's all it is. And I want everybody to know that we don't take it lightly. But, you know, if there is a confrontation, it'll be a confrontation over facts. It's not, I mean, you know, Mel and I, we don't have a security team. He has a security team. But we don't need a security team because we're confident in our abilities and we're confident in the fact that we get. So if there's a challenge amongst facts, it will be amongst that. Other than that, I can tell you right now, some of you said, why don't you bring them on the show? I'll tell you honestly right now, I don't want to. And I told Mel, you bring him on the show, I don't need to be on. I don't need to be on. Because we just let things speak for itself. We just let things speak for itself. Okay, Mel?
Right on, Charlie. Thank you, man. Again, man. Sorry about your brother, bro. I think we all, for those of us that have been here from the beginning, from when Charlie took us on that journey, man. That's why we're different. We're different. This is, you guys all familiar, right? This is cases, right? Active, recovered, hospitalized, died. Charlie's brother died. We got one in the hospital on Kauai right now. Recent, today's case. Active is active, recovered. You know that police officer that you saw on the news last night? The one that they wheeled him out, atrophy, he couldn't hardly move. He's counted as a recovered. So all you people out there that said, yeah, recovery rate is 91%. Yeah, that's what recovery looks like. This thing is bad. It's bad. And people better get a grip and start understanding that, you know, every single victim or patient, COVID patient will tell you, you do not want this disease. So I just wanted to make that point about the recovered, because recovered, no, the long haulers, these guys are stuck with this for life, for a very long time. Again, you know, we had no idea what was going to happen tonight. I thank you all for sharing that Maui quote. I saw you apologize. Please don't apologize for sharing that, because I think it's important for us. That's what this show is all about. This is on the table, people. Thank you, Dr. Miskovich, for coming on and sharing your manao as well in the post. But I don't like getting angry. I don't like people challenging, and it's Charlie and I. You know, we work hard at this thing, and we try to do the best we can for you all and for our communities. And we don't need that. We don't need that, pal. If you think that you're right, then yeah, go ahead and you stick to your guns. And like Charlie said, you know, we'll let the facts speak for itself, and we'll see. This thing is real, man, and it can go sideways real quick. And all I care about is keeping all of us safe and alive. And as Charlie said, most of you on this show, I don't have a clue. We've never met, but yet I feel like we're a family. I feel like we are actually related. And I would go to war for you. I would go to battle for you. I would take a bullet for you. And Charlie and I talk about this all the time, that with this family of ours now has just grown to this enormous amount that we would actually go to battle for you all. And that's what we do every night. And I don't say that to brag or say, I'm not saying it for any other reason, but to let you guys know that we love you guys and we're going to be here for you guys until this thing goes away. And quite honestly, I hope it's soon. I hope it's soon.
Yeah.
I really hope it's soon. So tomorrow night, guys, we will have Keone Alo. He's the guy from T-Espresso, the shop that some clown went in there. I cannot wait to find out who that recording artist is. And because the employee the employee asked the customer to put on a mask, she freaked out. He will be on the show tomorrow night to share with us his story and what they're doing to make their place safe for their customers and for their employees.
And then we'll also be talking about, it's a little early, but we figure because we have them on for that segment, we'll also be featuring a segment in downtown Wahiawa. Local boy buys a building with 10 businesses in there. And we'll talk about how we can get the word out, because Wahiawa is a small community, just like Lihue. How we can get people to go there, patronize the place. And but most of all, knowing that always going to get somebody that that doesn't want to conform, and it's okay. But you don't take it out on young ones who maybe, like I told Mel, maybe those girls who are exposed to that yelling, maybe that's their first job because they're only teenagers. They didn't sign up to be yelled at because they're enforcing the company policy that when you come into that espresso bar, you need to wear your mask. And they just got railed for no reason whatsoever. And that person had the gall to go onto Yelp and write some nasty things. And that person didn't even think for a moment that everything was being recorded, because guess what? It was. So now we know who the liar is and who's telling the truth. So they'll be on tomorrow night.
Awesome. All right, folks. Hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm gonna finish up my coffee. Probably have a nice glass of warm milk. Relax and settle down. Have some desserts from Patsy, and tomorrow will be a better day, guys. I love you guys all. You guys stay safe. God bless. Don't forget tomorrow night, 7:00, people. And if there was anything I said that was offensive to any one of you, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. All right, guys. God bless. We love you guys. Take care. Stay safe. Aloha.